Hi, my name's Steve Clark, CEO of Trust Systems, and welcome back to episode 5 of Beyond the Screen. Today's going to be something different. Today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, and we're going to talk about the role of avatars in digital signage.
Hey, good morning. My name is Rob Sims, and I'm the CEO and founder of Sim Vivas. We create AI integrated digital humans that help to solve a whole range of challenges across business. I've been in the industry for the comms and tech industry for the last 25, 30 years in various guises, and worked both from an international and a UK basis.
Morning, Rob. Good to see you again.
Happy
Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's always good when it's a Friday. Thanks for taking the time. Now we're going to talk about all things digital signage. It's a series of episodes we're doing and trying to educate the market on some of the futures and some of the benefits of digital signage. From your perspective, what are you seeing in the market in terms of the interest in digital signage, and in what sectors? What's driving it?
I think anyone who visits any form of high footfall area, whether it's a shopping centre, supermarket, airport, you name that gambit, arenas, the proliferation of digital signage has exploded over the last 12 to 18 months. You can only see that continuing to do so. It's replacing some traditional positioning, and it's making a more engaging and a more attractive experience, I think. And obviously, individual shops through to large complexes are trying to educate and inform customers more than ever to entice them into the store, and then repeat them all the arena or the airport, and basically add additional services for them.
Yeah, the sort of terminology we're hearing, because our business deals with multiple personas in the sector, right? So you and I come from an infrastructure background, right? We talked about ex infrastructure people, right? Who were way back in the day, and before lots of the technologies around now, right? So we're coming at it from a different angle, but the personas and the things that we're hearing around immersive experience, right? We've got a different generation who wants to shop now, yeah. And some of the things we are doing, and one of the case studies, not one of our customers, I hasten to add, but my own personal experience of I drive an EV, I have to charge the car up. I live in Yorkshire but work in Cirencester, so I tend to stop at the Trafford Centre. And if you know where the Tesla charging unit is there, I have to go through the Marks and Spencer's hall, which I always get a sandwich and things like that. But the way they've reinvented that Marks and Spencer's food hall store is funky, it's new, it's a great experience, right? And that seems to be the modus operandi for a lot of the, not just the retail and grocery brands and convenience store brands that we deal with, but whether it's high fashion, whatever, it seems to be a more immersive experience.
Everybody's got this challenge of bricks, not clicks. How do you bring people to the store? How do you make that more engaging and exciting? To basically stop people just buying things online, and this immersive approach that you're talking about. I think that's at the heart of it, providing something different, providing more information, providing something that allows the consumer or the visitor to get a bigger bang from that visit than they would just selecting something online and coming through. So I think it's all part of that change.
Yeah. Some of the analysis that we've seen, you and I were just talking about pre-COVID and COVID period, right? And we all started to buy online, right? I mean, most of us buy online anyway, right? Because I'm not the world's greatest shopper, if I'm being honest. But we always thought that there would be a massive uptick in online shopping, and the tide would move, or the weight would move towards online shopping. But the analysis we've seen recently is that 80% of purchases are still done in store. 80%.
I think it's down to the social aspect of being out together, doing things together, and turn it into I think I shop like you, go in, buy what I want, straight out.
Mm,
A lot of times people are in there for a period of time. They're perhaps with family or friends. They might grab something to eat to the local, um, either something on site or close by. And it is about it being an experience, not just a buy and leave or
mm.
visit and leave type approach.
Yeah, in sort of your experience so far in your travels in this sector, are you seeing there's a lot of different things driving that we are being told by the customer that digital signage is it's digital signage is not just a nice to have, right? People put it in place because they want to drive,
Yeah,
they want to drive more sales. That's fundamentally what it's about, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
they make the experience better. So if you make the experience better, people will buy more. If you advertise the right things on the screens, there'll be maybe an emotive or an emotional purchase or a panic purchase. You know, is that the sort of feedback you're seeing that people, it is doing its job and there is
Yeah,
a
very, very much so. I think it is twofold. It's how can I support the visitor? How can I give them, make it a more pleasurable, an easier experience? And how can I bring to front of mind things that will basically make them purchase more and
Mm,
support what the venue is about, whether that's um, explaining that there's other like venues in the kind
shopping.
of complex, that there's more choice, whether it's this is how you find the thing that you're looking for, or this is how, what's the easiest way to navigate around where we're doing the find the kind of individual item.
Mm,
It's all those things, having the ability to keep the information refreshed and up to date, making it relevant to the actual visitors at the time, not something that's perhaps been stuck on a wall for 2 or 3 months and now out there and irrelevant. And I think the other thing that the digital signage does as well, and the new scenes, and they don't become invisible like traditional signage does. And you walking past and it's just there and it's not doing anything. Whereas digital, because there's movement, because there's ability to interact, and some of the things that we're creating, the ability to interact and engage with that customer means the message comes across and gets hit harder and therefore has a real use as opposed to it's just a walk by thing.
yeah. I think the saying is content is king, right? You look at the generations that are coming through that are the new shoppers, right? They have a very small attention span, right? So
Sure.
the sort of thing we've learned that working with our customers is it's 10 to 20 second intervals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
short blasts, but repeated, that work well. We've seen uplifts of in products in store of 500 to 700%, in terms of when they advertise that product.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is that ability to bring things constantly to front of mind. I think
Mm,
that's the hey, with that wake up shake. Oh yeah, I actually do want some of that. Or I didn't know you did that. I'll have that. Let me
mm,
go and purchase.
yeah. Let's sort of talk about your business's role and why digital signage is important and what you overlay on that. It's going to be different in the market, right? There's a big buzzword at the moment, artificial intelligence, right? Everybody's talking about it,
Yeah.
And if you see hashtag AI or hashtag, it seems to be everywhere. I've seen an old customer of mine who's now appointed somebody who's going to be head of automation and artificial intelligence, right? So it's coming, right?
Yeah. I think you've got the same thing. Go back 2, 3 years. LinkedIn was everyone was a metaverse expert.
Mm.
Now it appears everyone's an AI expert. So yeah, it is definitely in vogue at the moment.
So tell us a bit about your business and why that plays how does that connect to the digital signage or the retail, grocery, and actually multiple sort of channels?
So we create AI integrated digital mediums. These are lifelike, friendly representations of you and I, any gender, any ethnicity, any age group, um, designed to be familiar looking, but not photorealistic because we don't want to fool anybody or spook anybody. So you're talking to something that's comfortable and familiar, but you're not thinking, is this a real person? I'm being tricked here. We integrate that with either product, location, brand specific information, which then can be supplemented with a wider information group as well. And we enable them to communicate in the most natural form, which is language. That can be multilingual as well, where it's applicable to the location. And essentially, what it does, it takes a digital display unit and turns it into both a reactive and a proactive communication, information, sales location, where the avatar can go, "Hey, Steve, my name's Rob. I'm a digital assistant here at venue X. How can I help you?"
Mm.
It's as we touched on before, I'm a shopper that wants to go in buy one thing and get out. So I'd say to the avatar, "Hi, I'm looking for a pair of trainers. Can you tell me where I'll find them?" "Yeah, absolutely. What you want to do is go to aisle 4, which from here just means turn to your left, walk down 3 aisles, and you'll find them halfway down on the left-hand side." They can also say, "Actually, did you know that we've also got an incentive on X or Y or Z?" They can provide information on what's happening. They're constantly up to date in terms of what the latest offers or what the latest positioning that the brand wants to push through. And they're not limited to a single brand. It could be everything that store stocks.
Yeah.
They'll know what it is, where it is, the best way to find it. And if the customer wanted some additional, deeper information, then they've got that in their knowledge base as well.
And I think some of the fear around AI, right, or hyper fear, is it'll replace the human being, right? What's your take on that?
For sure, there's going to be some impacts in terms of where AI comes in. What it isn't is an empathetic thing that can help people with sort of problems and queries. What it can be is a very, very efficient way of translating or passing information. It's constantly available. It can stop the human colleagues getting taken off their task, allows them to do things that are more interesting, more exciting, and frankly do things that automation and robotics can't do. The empathy things, the working with people.
Yeah.
You've also got the if someone's no one wants to stand at the front of the store or front of an aisle all day just waiting for someone to ask questions.
Yeah.
That's a pretty mundane and I'd argue a pretty boring task. This fits perfectly into that sort of scenario. It's available when the customer or the visitor wants it to be. It's also, like I said before, it's got that added advantage of it can be multilingual, which not all of us are. I'm certainly not. And it provides a load of.
I can speak Yorkshire, so
it's that is a different country for sure. I'm from Lancashire, so I'd absolutely say that one. It's there to supplement what's happening with human colleagues, not to replace human colleagues. It lets the human colleagues go off and do other things that the technology can't do.
Is it auto learning? So does it learn in the background, become more innovative or functional? Is it?
Yes, sure. And so every interaction. So you start off with a standard knowledge base. Tell me about your brand values. We're inputting on behalf of the customer the brand values, the knowledge, whether it's a store layout or whether it's a specific product information. We then put on a role. So who am I? I'm a store assistant. I work for brand X. I'm always friendly. I'm always polite. So I've got X capabilities. And that allows the interactions to start. But every conversation that takes place is recorded. So every question, every answer, there's a full set of data analysis that goes behind all the interactions, which is presented in real time to the client. It allows them to see the insights. So, for example, today, 75 people have come into store and asked, where's the frozen veg? Well, okay, well, we've clearly got an issue within store because people don't know where frozen veg is. Or they're asking for product X that we currently don't store. Okay, well, maybe we bring that into our buying cycle. Or the asking specifics about where's the bakery in store or any of those things that allows the client then to get real-time insights. And I think that's one of the big points. We're providing information in real time rather than having to work off historical what's happened in the past. This is what's happening this minute, this hour, today, this week. That you can be more reactive. And, as we're talking about the benefits of digital displays, is the ability to react. Well, this information enables that.
And you, again, we've talked about it in the past, is the ability to take that information, and then display on the digital assets and in store screens, right? Would be phenomenal, right? To do that with with minimum time, maximum reaction, and whether it's to sell a specific product that's going well or not, or overstocked, or some of the benefits of that would be huge, right?
Yeah, and you can do that in both a proactive and a reactive way. So a customer can say, speak to the avatar, hey, I'm really interested in product X. Can you tell me a bit more about it? The avatar is a product genius, so it knows everything about that product, can explain the benefits to the customer, why, how it's come about. Equally, the client can go, I'm looking to do X at the weekend. Can you give me some recommendations? And that again can be based off a series of questions and answers, or it could well be, as you just mentioned, well, we've got a chunk of stock that we want to move, so we're going to promote that in terms of, obviously it's got to be relative to what the customer is asking about, but if there's a right answer, the avatar will always push that first.
I mean, I think one of the ways you described it to me when we started talking about this a few months ago now was is chat GBT with a face, or is it a chatbot with a face? But do you think do you think there's some fear around the market and people are ready for it? Is it, is there is there a barrier there that as people saying, oh, this is a step too far at this point, or because I showed it to my sons, right? And I've got 5, right?
Yeah.
And I said, and what do you think of this? Would you, if you walked into a store, would you take one look at that and go, you know what, I'm not talking to that, right? And none of them, and the range from 15 to 22 said, no, it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
If it helps me to do something quicker, yes.
Yeah. And again, we're into this audience that are used to instant gratification. They're instant message, instant information flow. And really what these do, what we've created is what we believe the easiest form of use. So you don't have to do anything. Walk to the avatar. The avatar will practically go, hi, how may I help you? You speak in your natural language. You don't have to select anything on screen if you speak a different language. You speak the language. The avatar will answer that. It will tell you where to find the item if that's appropriate, and you're on your way. It's like, I sort of equate it to a multilingual product genius on everything that the store sells, constantly available at the right place. Now, because we all go into areas and you don't know where something is or what something is, and we're searching around and looking for someone to help us. Well, that's what this is.
Yeah, and that's frustrating, right? I had the very same experience this weekend, right? It's one of my sons. We were in the Trafford Centre. I'm not going to name the brand or the shop, but we were in that shop looking for something, and they didn't have his size in one piece that he wanted, right? And we had to wait around for quite a bit to get somebody to go and check,
Yeah,
if I could go to an avatar and say, I've got this product, have you got it in your size in stock now? And it said, yes, we have, we'll send an assistant to come and deal with you. Or actually we don't, but we have it online and we can, you can order it now and
yeah,
we'll send it to your home,
yeah. We'll take you to your app or
because
scan this QR code.
because
It's about
ultimately that
ease.
yeah, sorry, ultimately I'm not there, Rob, but we he didn't buy, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
went somewhere else and bought something else.
yeah. And that that's obviously the
That's not what you
objective
want
of
out of
any.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
that's the objective of every store.
Mm.
Can we make it as easy as possible for people to
Painless.
interact and buy something with us?
Yeah.
Well, we believe this is a big step forward in enabling that.
Mm. I think one of the stories you told me when we met a couple of weeks ago was, you'd been doing a study with somebody and they had done some sort of time and motion type piece and it were,
Hmm.
there was, they I think the calculation spat out was it was the people were getting heavily utilized. So I think it was about 15% or something of their time
Yeah,
and non-productive answering questions to the customer, which you might
yeah,
say is productive because they're dealing with a customer, but they were taking 15% of the time off the job they were there to do. Yeah.
yeah, and it was impacting that. It was all the way through the store in terms of
Mm.
we all live in realistic times. You can't have an army of people just hanging around waiting to be asked a question.
Yeah.
So the people that are either working on the shop floor or filling the shelves or basically doing duties around the location, those are the ones that are getting stops and pulled off into can you tell me about. Equally, you can't expect everyone to have full product knowledge on everything
Yeah.
all the time. So you might have to ask two or three people. I think we've all been in a situation where, oh, I'm not sure about that. Let me go and grab my manager and find out a little
Yeah.
bit more. And then you've got another 2 or 3 or 5 minutes waiting time that, one is not productive for the individual, and two, it's not productive for the store.
Yeah, I think that's the use case that people need to look at, isn't it? Is how can I free up? It's not about reducing the need for human beings to do a job, isn't it? It's about making them more productive and taking away
Absolutely.
taking away the mundane tasks that are, that need to get done because they get done in every whether it's in store, in a hotel, in a leisure centre, in a sports stadium, wherever it is, right? It's to free these people up to be actually more productive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the technology should be a great addition to humans, not
Yeah.
not a replacement to what we're doing. It should make my interaction as a visitor, as a customer, easier and better, and it
Hmm.
should make my experience as an employee easier and better. And I think when you bring those two together, that's a really powerful force.
Yeah, agreed. So, what's the first? If people are looking at AI and avatar based solutions, right? What's the sort of top three things you would say to the customer to look at? These are the things you've got to fundamentally think about before you start that journey.
So what do
Don't
you
have to
want
be
them?
three, Rob. It could be five. It could be one,
uh,
right? Yeah.
what, what do you want them to do? As
Yeah.
in, what role are you looking to do that? Is there a specific problem that you're looking to solve, or a specific opportunity that you're trying to reach? Um, where and how would you like your customers to interact? Those the and I guess the other big one is what information and data do you have to hand? Because the AI is no different to any tech system. It's all about the quality of data. Now that can be built from scratch, but it also can be integrated from current CRM or current platforms. And how do we bring that together? So those are the big questions. You're then into the softer skills of what do you want the avatar to look like? Do you want it to represent your branding? Is it going to be wearing the same uniform as everyone else? Uh, Gender, ethnicity, all of those good things. Do you want us to clone a Yorkshire voice so it answers with a Yorkshire twang, a northern twang, a southern twang? Um, do you want the multilingual capabilities? It's all those soft skills that break down that barrier. One thing, when you were saying about speaking to the boys and, would they use it? What we've experienced is it takes somewhere between 1 and 3 questions for even skeptical people to go from it to her or him. And they start answering back and they start saying thank you. And it's really quickly, it's really quick the time to suspend disbelief. Because you're just talking, you talk, we're talking to a screen. You and I are talking to a screen now. Okay, we know it's the actual human at the end of the screen, but we're talking to a screen. We're doing it in real time, and we're getting questions and answers in real time. That's the concept that we've created, and I think as long as you can deliver that. Can you tell me where the bros and peas are? Yes, I can. It's aisle 7. It's about halfway down on the right hand side. Once you go past the ice cream section, you move into that. Okay, well, that's really comfortable to me because I'm familiar with that, because that's what, if I asked the guy at the side of me that's how we would describe it and how we would take it through. Off a trot, and I'm really comfortable with that.
So it's important to think about the local demographics. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. Again, it's ensuring we're a tech business, and obviously that's very important. But more than anything, I position us as we're a customer service business. What we produce has to work for the customer in the way that the customer works, and there's a clue in the name. It's the service industry. How do we support customers in the right way? Well, we're knowledgeable, we're polite, we're informative, we're friendly, and we make it as easy as possible for them.
Yeah.
Well, that's nothing to be afraid of. And okay, I've just got what I wanted in a quicker time round, and it's quite enjoyable. I'm off and I'm on again. I'm more than happy to use a service every time I come in because it makes my life a little bit easier.
When people get over the barrier, not the users but the potential customers, is proof of concept a big thing? Do you advise think about what you wanted to do, right? Because you've got to have the data in the background. You've got to populate the data in the background, right?
Yep.
Put it in, let it prove itself.
Yeah, we'd always recommend doing a proof of concept with one or a small number of digital assistants. That way you're honing in some instances the look and the feel. You can tweak all those things. It's digital. We do all that again in real time. You tweak the response mechanisms. You can tweak the information sets, and you're basically judging how people are reacting. What's really important is to have the staff involved in that process, involved in the sort of development process as well, so they know what the store, what the brand is trying to achieve, and it's not this is going to take my job or it's going to change my role. It's no, this is going to take a lot of the mundane stuff off me. And make my job, it's gonna make my job more fulfilling. Equally, and again, we've seen this with clients where they've had new staff join them. The avatar knows all the answers. The avatar knows the brand. The avatar knows the induction process. So they sit new starters, and we do training courses with new starters with the avatar, and they're learning, the things that again, someone would have to take them round store, or someone would have to sit them in a classroom and do online training or whatever it may be. The conversation. Tell me about how do you position? What's the thing? The beauty of that is it's constantly consistent. It's the same message irrespective of how many times it's done. And from the new joiner, you can ask the stupid questions because the thing that I'm
the avatar's not going to judge you.
Exactly. It's not going to go, God, you've asked me that 5 times. Why aren't you listening? it's going to respond and it's going to give you more information and go deeper.
I think you need to make one of them for my wife because she does the same. I ask about 5 times, and I keep saying that, So not for
I,
another conversation. I think we're at the point where we've now got people. We see it's definitely got some use cases. We get over the fear factor, right? What's the future? Because there's lots of different roles for this product and the service, right? Sorry, the
yeah,
what's the future development look like, and and when are we going to see this you go into a store and it's become digital signage is starting to become
yeah,
a standard feature in store, right?
yeah.
When are we going to see this? Being is it next year? The standard thing is it next year, the year after? You know,
It started now.
right?
There are some early adopters that are moving down this route. I think what you'll see in very short term, this technology being adopted pretty much globally from an airport perspective,
Yeah,
because that's where the multilingual capabilities do drop in.
yeah,
I think you're going to start seeing it from a multiple retails, supermarkets, shopping centres, again, adding that through. I think you'll start seeing that throughout this year. And I think in a 3 to 5 year cycle, there's lots of studies that are being pushed out now where basically the predictions are within 5 years, pretty much every business will have a digital assistant of some shape or size.
mm,
Whether that's for internal training purposes, for client purposes, for a combination of those things. So this enhancement is coming.
mm,
How is it going to improve? How is it going to get better? The fluidity that we believe we're at the forefront of the market in terms of how our digital assistants interact. That it is literally a case of walking up to a display and the avatar then is proactively engaged. We've moved on from the old, with Alexa, you've got to do a wake up call. Siri, got to do a wake up call and it engaged. We're doing that from a proximity perspective. So the video camera realizes that you're close enough for me to go, hi, can I help you? And you're engaged then. You don't have to press buttons. You don't have to
it's
use touch screen.
yeah, it's an interesting one because you see, you've just jogged, in terms of my thought process, Robert, and who would have thought, right? When we started in the game back in the day, you get up in the morning and walk into the kitchen and tell Alexa to switch your coffee machine on,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
play some music, or turn the lights on, or
yeah.
we would never have envisaged that back then.
No,
And
and I
we
think if you think of that adoption cycle as well, Steve, in terms of when Alexa and Siri and all these things came out, there was a bit of, oh, it's always listening, it knows what you're doing, all that sort of stuff. It's second nature now. No one thinks about it. The big one I always joke about with people is, do you use sat nav?
Mm.
When you get in a car, do you put sat nav on or on your phone? Yeah, well, that's AI.
Mm.
That's what you're using the technology already. You're just using it in different ways.
You know,
Don't be afraid by the hype.
Yeah, and I think there's always hype, and when we've been in digital long enough to see a lot of different cycles, Rob, right?
Sure, sure.
There's always been hype or fear factor or in certain things, thinking about the use cases again, right? You look at we as a business, right? We work with a number of different building DMS and EMS systems people. So they put the infrastructure in place that manages the building and controls the heating and ventilation and everything else. This has got to have a play in here as well, right? Where you can talk to this and say turn the air conditioning up, turn the heating off, lock the
Yeah,
doors.
and also,
Turn the lights
from
on, turn the lights off.
from a protection and security perspective as well.
Yeah.
God forbid, in the event where there's a some form of threat, whether that's fire or terrorist activity, you've now got something that kicks in and is telling people the closest exit is to your left and then go down, rather than that having to be a person that's stood in danger. The displays in the arena or whether whatever the location is, they automatically kick into I know what my location, and I know from here the safest exit for the people around me is down to my left.
Mm.
Or I know because the system's joined up that the exit to my left is blocked, send everybody to the right. And that's instant communication and then an instant sort of additional bonus for the people attending that venue.
Listen, I think it's, we've had this conversation. I think it's really exciting, right? Being an old fella and being around a bit, you don't get excited a bit too much these days in the market. But this has got a lot of use cases, right? When you want to try and sum it up, it's chat, but with a face,
Yep.
or it's a Alexa or Siri with a face, right?
Yeah, it's an intelligent assistant that's there to make your visit, your journey, your shopping experience easier, smoother, and a bit more enjoyable.
Much more articulate than me, John. Much more articulate.
And doing it in a way that is comfortable for the user and easy. That's one of the big challenges that we've constantly worked on. How did everybody know to say, "Hey Alexa"? Because there was hundreds of millions of pounds spent on advertising.
Yeah.
Well, an individual brand isn't going to put that money in to educate people coming into their store.
Yeah.
But what do? You make it simple. You walk up to it and it talks to you.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better than that.
Agreed. Listen, Rob, we're running out of time.
Sure.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I think hopefully people will find this really interesting because it is something that's really relevant. It's coming, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
It is coming. It's and as you say, it's not a million miles away. We don't see them today prevalent all over the place, but I think next year, like you say, there's wherever you go, you're gonna walk into some sort of artificial intelligence, AI avatar that's gonna help you and make your life easier.
Yeah, and it is all about making it right for the brand, making it right for the customers, and that blend.
All right.
Cool.
Thank
you very much. Yeah, pleasure, Steve. Always great to chat.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Rob. Cheers. Thank you for joining us today, and stay tuned to episode 6.